Max McGillivray of Beanstalk.global. In our series of 20 on 20, where we are looking to find inspirational people from the food sector, we're doing this transmission with a slight difference. When we first set this up, we thought we would just go for individuals, but actually some people are fantastic as individuals, but even better as a group, especially when they've got something really special about what they're looking to do, what they're looking to achieve. So we've got this little collective of people who are spread far and wide, who we want to help promote in a particular mission that they have just instigated, that they want to set up, that they want to take further forward. So without further ado, can we invite Jim, Donald, Jackie, Abigail, come on in. Well done, everyone's in. Everyone say hello.
Hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
Fantastic. Let's do ladies first. Jackie, who are you and where are you today, please?
I'm Jacquie Green. I'm an ex-colleague of Jim's and I'm based in Kent in England.
Fantastic. Abigail, who are you, please?
Hi, I'm Abigail and I'm Jim's daughter and I'm from England, Lincolnshire.
Fantastic. And Donald, where are you? With that eclectic background, you've got to be somewhere hot, sunny, amazing. Go and tell us what. Show off. Where are you, please?
Well, good morning in our part of the world. Good afternoon in your part of the world. My name is Donald Murray, and I live in Costa Rica.
Fantastic. Donald, that's brilliant. We've had some amazing people on from the likes of Florence, New York, California, but Costa Rica, I think that's excuse the expression, that's top trumping it. So well done. And then last but not least, Jim, who are you?
Hi, Max. I'm Jim Jefcoate. I'm based in near Spalding in Lincolnshire, or at this moment, 1 foot to the left of Abigail. And I'm ex-colleague, as Jackie mentioned, with Jackie from IPL days, and also ex-colleague of Donald's from my Del Monte days. So no mention of the missing link.
well done. So Jim, just give us the lead, give us the stance. Why are we here today? Why are all of us on this call, and what are we looking to achieve from it? What are we looking to promote? Tell us all, please.
So Jackie, Donald, and I have all worked in the produce industry, and as our careers have gone on, the environment has become more and more important in what we're doing. And particularly when I was working with Donald, the rainforest became very much high profile in production systems and in supply chains. And so I've been talking to Donald about this, and actually there are a couple of articles that came up that really got me thinking. One was from President Bolsonaro of Brazil, who said, all you industrialized countries, you're criticizing us for cutting down our forests, but you cut your forest down 3,000 years ago. You've got no right to tell us what to do. And then there was another one from the ex-president of Peru, President Kaczynski. And just before the Paris COP21, he said, the tropical countries have all of this resource that is absorbing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, and we're not getting any value from it. The Western world ought to treat that resource as a utility and ought to be paying for it. So very much what we've gone down the line of looking at is saying, well, the industrialized countries, we ought to really be repaying the tropical countries, and in effect, saying to them, thank you for the rainforest, because you've been doing a great job in maintaining the atmospheric temperature. And we view this very much as an economic challenge, as much an environmental challenge. I was reading a book by Yanis Varoufakis where he was talking to his daughter, and he was saying in that the problem that you have in tropical countries is that they get no exchange value from their forests. So again, they will start cutting them down to get exchange value, and then we start criticizing them. It's not right. So we're looking at creating models to look at how we can prevent that from happening. And this isn't just about offsetting. And in fact, offsetting isn't our priority. This is about creating value for landowners, for indigenous people, for farmers, so that they can either maintain the forests in their current format or reforest areas which have been stripped for things like cattle. So, you know, that is our reason why we want to be able to create incentives for these people to actually maintain or regenerate the forest areas. And we realise that we live or die by our integrity, and that's really why I brought Jackie in to help us out.
Thank you. Nice segue. And Jackie, it's often been said that the forests are the lungs of the world. So come on, Jackie, how are we going to do this?
Well, as Jim said, the important thing is not to confuse this with offsetting. What we're wanting to do is generate an economic advantage for those landowners so that they are encouraged to maintain or reforest or even afforest areas in the tropics. But the important thing we've recognised is there's an awful lot of cynicism out there around offsetting schemes, greenwashing, and so the critical thing for us is that this has got excellent transparency, integrity. We recognise that everything has to be verified. We recognise that the numbers and the equivalent going concern rates of land per hectare have to be verified. So I think the critical thing we've recognised is that this has to be completely transparent, declaring revenues quarterly, where's it going? We recognise structurally it's really important that as much of the value finds its way back into the tropical countries as possible, and traditionally these offsetting schemes and some of these schemes might only see 30% of the funds find their way back to the country, where we're looking for 50 to up to 70% to find their way back. So critical for us is transparency, openness, integrity.
Well done. And Donald, for you, I'm sure you're absolutely on the same hymn sheet as Abigail, Jim and Jackie. Donald, what does success look like for you, say 3 years, 5 years down the line from now?
Well, for one thing, it's important to note that we have chosen Costa Rica as a site of operation for our endeavor. Costa Rica is very unique in the fact that it's a beacon, it's a model in this part of the world on how to preserve the environment. For example, I may cite some basic statistic, which is currently ongoing, that approximately 52% of this country is completely covered with forest.
Wow.
And there is a goal for the government to make that 60% by the year 2030. As you know, Costa Rica is a small country. If you compare it, say, to the size of Belgium, which is one of your neighbors, Costa Rica is about 50% bigger than Belgium. And like I say, it plays a key role in this part of the world because it's a model in preserving forest. You notice that during the year 2019, when the Amazon was ablaze, Costa Rica was very unique in that it had no forest fires at that time. So something is being done right in this country. That's the reason why we have focused on working our future in this country of Costa Rica. So
that's amazing. That's such an uplift to go from, so correct me on the figures if I get it wrong, Donald, from 50% forestation to 60. That would be significant. So how can individuals, how can businesses get involved with yourself? Jim, give us a steer, please.
Well, we are very much concentrating, or we're targeting social media. So we realize that the people that we really want to have a discussion with are the millennials and the Generation Z, so the younger people. So Abigail has just finished her psychology degree, and a lot of what she's been doing is looking at influencing and marketing techniques. So I've asked Abigail to help me out with contacting her peer group, really, and forming what I'd like to do is form a discussion group, form a Maven group that will allow us to shape a model for channeling funds down into the tropics.
Jim, well done. Jim, move aside. We need to speak to Abigail about this. So this, we are in a fascinating spot. I mean, you just have to look at us now. All of us being on this platform when even perhaps 2 years ago it wouldn't have been possible. So to actually contact, touch, get that message out to millennials, not just in the UK but globally, with that right message would be amazing. So Abigail, how can we create this magic dust? How can you create this magic dust for such an important message, please?
Well, basically, we're trying to do it in a novel approach. So using social media. So instead of like the traditional methods such as radio and TV, we're taking social media, which we know isn't exactly a novel thing anymore because so many people use it. But that's why it's so exciting, because like each like social media platform offers its different benefits and particular ways in which you can connect with people. So like, for example, my age group specifically use Instagram quite a lot, and that's the one I've been focusing on, so we can post our brilliant photos that such as Donald has taken and some that I've taken, and just to promote the rainforest in a positive way. And and the approach we're taking is also novel, because we don't want to like promote a product to customers. We want to build a subscriber base and then use that subscriber base to help us build and design our models. So we call it funnel development instead of funnel marketing.
Well done. Excellent. And Abigail, just give us a steer, because I'd love to learn from you. That on Facebook, I'm very proud to say that we have 96,000 followers on Facebook. But are they a bit old school? Is the route to attracting your generation, the likes of Instagram and the likes of TikTok? Is Facebook dead?
It's not dead, but we do feel like the older generation have taken it over. So I think that kind of pushed us away from it.
Hold on, Abigail. Let's just check. Donald, are you on Facebook?
Definitely.
Jackie, are you on Facebook?
No.
Oh, you liar. Jim, are you on Facebook?
Yes.
So Abigail, I find it fascinating, because I think it's amazing that what's Facebook? How old is Facebook? 14, 15 years old. And now Instagram, absolutely, and TikTok. My kids are all over TikTok, so you can see how those platforms are such big influencers. So you're going to steer more towards the likes of Instagram to get that exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then with the Jim, just going back to yourself, do you think the route to success to get this this I was going to say notoriety, this exposure, will be through millennials, and if you did have big corporates knocking on your door, would that be of interest to you all as well, or are you trying to steer away from them? What do you think?
Well, we're not trying to steer away. We won't steer away from anybody. In theory, we'd be quite happy to speak to government departments. The point is, we want to target the millennials and what they call the Maven group, the people who are actually passionate about this, and not those people who just want to get involved so that they can take the carbon credits.
Yeah.
What we've been saying is we want to do it because we want to get funds back down to the landowners, the farmers, the indigenous people. We're not doing it so that a corporate executive can feel a lot better about getting a first-class ticket on a long-haul flight.
Well said. Well said. So let's just investigate it further. So Donald, so you're capturing for Abigail the imagery of the forests, of the wildlife there, so that it can then be promoted to get people more interested in the whole project. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. I mean, a photograph tells 1,000 words, and the sceneries in Costa Rica are just outstanding. They're breathtaking, to say the least. The country is broken down into biological corridors. It also has national parks, and not only that, it also has private reforestation projects, as well as private forests. And this is what we want to conserve. This is what we want to keep, what we want to promote, and what we want to foment.
Donald, where's the backdrop behind us? That's one of your groups.
Yeah, that's a photograph that I took about 4 months ago. That's a place called Cinchona, near a volcano near the city of San Jose, which is the capital of Costa Rica. And that goes in line because that's a watershed for a very specific river on which several hydroelectric power generating plants are built. As you know, Costa Rica has a very, very high percentage of renewable energy. Hydro energy being about 70% of the national grid. So it behooves the country to protect all the watersheds of these rivers that feed into these dams that produce the electricity.
So guys, if it's okay to just look at the Abigail, help me this one on the marketing perspective. There used to be an old boss of Formula One called Bernie Eccleston, and he was always said, "Why don't you do more with social media? You need to engage with the young." And his response was, "Well, no 18-year-old is going to buy a £5,000 Rolex watch. I don't want to have anything to do with the young." With the thought of getting the millennials on board, are you hoping that they're actually going to put their hand in their pocket and look to assist? Is that the plan?
Yeah, because talking from experience from people that I meet at uni, I feel like we do have very much a strong moral connection to the planet. Like, I know a lot of people I've spoken to them about it, and they think what we're doing is such a good idea, and they have been supporting me us on social media in what we're doing. And I think that is something that my generation would want to engage in, because we want to make a better planet for the future. So,
guys, isn't Abigail great? Can you make Abigail your CEO?
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as this finishes, Matt. Matt, just to add to that, what we're not looking about going straight out there and commercializing anything. What this is about is building a following. What we want to do is get a discussion group together that is actually going to move us in the right direction together. And then look at coming up with a model. And we've got a number of ideas, and what we're excited about is that there's a good opportunity to use technology to come up with some pretty cool models that we think will attract the millennials.
Well done. So, guys, treat me as stupid. Let's be the voice of what you're looking to achieve. So we've got Donald, who's got the making this amazing content for you. We've got the fantastic Abigail, who's now looking to create this community, this social awareness, to create this community. So you've got this. So say within 6 months, you've got a number of thousand individuals behind you within this community. What's the next step then, please?
Jackie, do you want to go with that, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but I think the important thing is that we want to use technology to help actually deliver the main aim of the initiative, which is to deliver value back to the landowners. So the early adopters, those early sort of maven group that Jim described, are really there as a kind of think tank, the engineers and architects of what this will become. And it's not fully formed, but at the moment what's clear is that we want to find a route to generate income in order to give income in a transparent, open and verifiable way to the indigenous landowners and farmers. I know that sounds a little bit vague, but actually it's as simple as that. It is about getting the money back into the right hands, as opposed to money caught up in bureaucracy. As we sort of mentioned earlier, most of these schemes end up with only about 30% of the funds going to the people who it's intended for, and our ambition is it will be a significantly higher percentage.
Well done. And if it's okay to ask the dirty word, money, what sort of figure would you have in mind a year, 2 years down the line that would actually make a difference? I suppose, Donald, let's ask you that question. Does it require a lot of money to make a lot of difference? Or like other parts of the world, and say like South Africa, India, a small amount of money can actually make a huge amount of difference?
That's exactly, you just pinned it right there. This is like what we call the ant procedure, you know. A whole bunch of ants doing everything collectively to make something big. This is what we're trying to accomplish here. Mini funding that mobilizes to this part of the world to, like Jim says, the landowners, okay, in response for them to keep their forests. Basically, that's the approach. Now, we're not after major grants. We're not after major corporations funding this. I mean, this is individuals amounting collectively to something really big. That's the prime focus. That's the bottom line focus that we have in mind.
Fantastic. And Abigail, just coming back to yourself, am I being too UK centric, or this community that you're looking to garner, is it going to be UK, Europe, Australasia, globally? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. We want to involve anyone and everyone. At the minute with the social media, we're getting a lot of people from Costa Rica, because tagging the images from Costa Rica is getting people from Costa Rica to like and follow us. So we have actually got a bigger audience than just the UK. So yeah, that is the plan.
Fantastic.
I think, Max, one thing just to mention is we're just learning as we go along. So, you know, I've had a number of conversations with you about the frustrations of trying to build a website. And, we're learning little things like we want subscribers to the website, but actually it might look as if we might get more return from subscribers on Facebook and on Instagram. So we're just we're very much in the pilot stage. So yeah, initially we're targeting the UK from this end, and Costa Rica, because as Donald's demonstrated, Costa Rica is such an open door on the environment that. But it is very much a learning process. This is why we want to get the expert group built up and involved so that they can help design it. And we don't just come up with some preconceived idea that they basically think is rubbish.
And guys, what's so great about you all, I can't even call you a model because you're far beyond that, is that you're a collective of amazing people and you're fleet of foot. So if you need to move in a certain direction, it's not like you've got to have a committee meeting, like a huge structural organisation with huge grant funding behind it. You can go where you want to create that success. So that's the exciting element of it.
Well, now Abby's CEO, I think you might change all of that. We might have a harder time, board meetings and everything.
Excellent. So guys, with our network and the people that will be watching this on our social media platforms that might be connected to us or might not, how can they help you? How can they help you? How can we help you?
Well, I think fundamentally it's join the debate, get involved. So as you can see, we have our website up behind us. We're putting out blogs. We've got a Facebook page, which is selvador.com. What we'd love is for people to follow that. And what I like is when we put out a blog, even if somebody's coming back and saying you're talking rubbish, it is a debate. It's a very healthy debate that we can have, that we can start honing the model and looking at exactly how we want to pilot that, because that's what we're looking to do. I think the other thing to mention about Donald is that he has got a lot of experience in the environment, in the rainforest, far above just cameras, and he's got a lot of contacts in the environmental world as well, which is a real great help to us.
Well done. So guys, the way I want to wrap up is I want to come to you individually and for you to tell me just to reiterate again, what do you need from the public globally to make this a success, and why it's going to be of interest for us all to get engaged with you. And Abigail, just to pre-warn you, you're going to come in last as the CEO, so you're going to have the big statement. So Donald, what do you need from us, and how can we create success for you?
Well, first and foremost, I think exposure. We need exposure. We need to get the message across to the public that what we're doing is right for the environment, right for the world, right for sustainability. And we feel that our model works very well in that direction. And this is, like I said before, something a small collective effort from many individuals creating something which is really big. This is what we're looking at, basically.
Oh, Donald, well done, fantastic. Jim?
We just want people to get involved. What success for us, certainly at the moment, isn't monetary success. It is how many people can we get into our group? How many people can we get into the debate? And what we're saying to people is just help us say thank you for the rainforest.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. Jackie?
Yeah, obviously echoing what Jim and Donald have said, but I think the thing for me really is making sure our points are really, really clear and disconnecting us from greenwashing, carbon offsetting schemes that are somewhat tarnished, and actually just this is a very, very pure and simple conundrum, which is that we want to optimize value for the landowners so that they don't use their land for anything other than rainforest preservation or reforestation.
Boom. Abigail, can I just congratulate you on gaining these 3 employees to your movement? Well, you look at Donald. Donald's just fantastic, isn't he? With his background and his content ability and the way he talks. Donald, I'd love to hear you on a podium talk about your experiences to date. And we've got Jim here, who's the website creator, amongst other things. And Jackie's going to hate me for saying this, but she's so well regarded within the fresh food industry. So to have the endorsement of Jacquie on this project is amazing. So Abigail, well done. So how are we going to wrap this up? How are we going to create success? What do you need from everyone to assist you, please?
We just want people to listen and engage and care what we have to say, and please give your opinion. Your opinion is what is important to us. So basically, yeah.
Excellent. Team, well done. I'm really looking forward to this, and we're going to help you in any way that we can. So we're going to really help you and watch you and see how you track over the next few months, the next coming years. But I can virtually feel and see that you're going to make a great success of this. So well done, and anything we can do to help, we're here to do that. Well done, team.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Max.
Well done,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Well done. Bye.